What's up, and welcome to the DualSense Podcast, a PlayStation news podcast. This is episode 131. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason. I'm joined, as always, by your other co-host, who is calling himself this evening, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yes, wonderful. He's also known as Travis. It's his Christian name. And Travis, Travis, how are you? What's Gucci?
Fine. Speaking of Christian, I had a bento box for dinner, so we might have to pause in the middle.
Oh, wow, because you're going to have to go baptize your toilet?
Yes, I might have to give it a little bit of a baptism by fire.
That's okay. Just let me know. I had a pie from Charlie's. I had about a quarter of a pie, and it's wonderful, but it's greasy. And usually that greasy pizza, it just lubes me up real good for a nice number 2 later. So I get it.
It's a big day for you. You had Charlie's pie. You saw an athletic event in person. Like, wow.
Yeah, I got out. Yeah, I got out of the house, and humans saw me. I yelled at. I may or may not have began a chorus of boos at referees at said sporting event. And,
that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, but hey, you didn't put an owner in a headlock, so that's okay.
No, I'm not that extreme. Not that extreme. I had some great soft serve ice cream too. It was good. It was wonderful. It's been a good day. What about you? What else is going on besides bentos?
Nothing really. I watched an entire sporting event with noise canceling headphones on, but no noise in my headphones.
Okay.
I didn't want to listen to the announcers, and then I just never took my headphones off, so I just was watching the game with the headphones on.
And you could just see everything moving, but you heard nothing.
Correct. Yeah. I just I can't
I
do
do
it.
that.
I can't do it sometimes. It's just too much.
Yeah, I get that. I do that sometimes too. Like I'll just have something on and no noise, or like I'll have the TV turned all the way down. Like I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? So especially if it's like a movie I've seen, like if it's Terminator 2, like I don't always need the sound. Like I just know what's happening. So anyway, Travis, we are a weekly podcast where you and I get together each and every week to discuss all of the news, rumors, new game releases, announcements, and more in the world of PlayStation. We do it all in under 90 minutes, of course, and we post new episodes every Monday on all of the usual podcast services around this globe and YouTube as well, where we share gameplay videos sometimes in addition to our episodes every Monday. So you can check it out there wherever you prefer to watch or listen, I guess I should say. But we're also on social media. You can find us primarily on the Twitter, where we go by at the DualSense Pod. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, no longer on TikTok, as a reminder. We also have a blog, which is called thedulsenspodcast.wordpress.com. So you can find the shows there each week, show notes, our bios, our photos, all that good stuff. And just one note of housekeeping, I don't know what I've been doing really, but I put the timestamps on the YouTube video every week so that you can just, click the little bars on the timeline on the video, and if someone doesn't want to listen to us talk about whatever, they can skip that and go to the next thing. I've been doing that for the YouTube videos for a long time, and I've just never thought to just copy and paste that over to the notes on the podcast feeds so that people can see the timestamps and scroll through the thing on that. So I don't know what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I've been dropping the ball on that one for 130 episodes. So let me fix that. Hopefully starting this week if I can remember. So that way, if you all don't want to listen to us talk about one thing in particular, but there's something that piques your interest, then by all means, please do that. So I'm sorry about that. I'll fix that moving forward. I also wanted to say one before we move on quickly that Tom Henderson, our buddy that we source on here all the time, who's the biggest leaker and insider in the industry, he put out some type of tweet asking people what they like about podcasts and what they don't, etc. He's considering starting one, I guess. And I was reading through the replies out of curiosity, and I have to say that I would say 80% of the replies were all things that we already do. And that made me feel really good about our show. It was like, I can't tell how many people literally said, a podcast should not be over 90 minutes. And they said it should actually give us the news. I was like, whoa, and it said it should leave politics out, which we do a pretty good job of, etc. So I was like, you know what? We're already fucking doing this. So like, I feel like we're on the right track. It was vindicating. And, anyway, so I just wanted to, I guess, toot our own horn for a second.
Yeah, the only thing I don't agree with is it's okay for some to be more than 90 minutes. Not necessarily ours, but there are some sometimes
Yeah.
if you're doing a story, it doesn't make sense to split it up,
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
but that's
I
okay.
agree with that. Yeah, if you're doing something like us, then definitely not. But if you're like doing a true crime, telling how you murdered 6 people,
Allegedly.
yeah, allegedly. So anyway, Travis, let's jump into decent little week of news here, starting with number one. HBO's The Last of Us adaptation is officially a critical and commercial smash hit. HBO announced on Tuesday that the first episode of The Last of Us had been viewed by nearly 5 million viewers across HBO and their HBO Max app alone in the first 2 days, which is the second biggest debut for one of their shows since 2010. Behind only Game of Thrones spinoff House of the Dragon, which had 10 million viewers in its first 2 days last year. On Wednesday, HBO followed that up with an announcement that it had been viewed by nearly 10 million people after its first 4 days, so it doubled in 2 days, which is incredible. The Last of Us Episode 1 also currently sits at a Rotten Tomatoes critical score of 99% and an audience score of 96%. To piggyback off the release of the show, developer Naughty Dog has released a 2-hour trial of The Last of Us Part 1 on PS5 for PlayStation Plus premium subscribers. And before I kick it over to Travis, before I hand it off to you, I do want to preface that we're not Travis per se, because he's never played the game, but we're going to most likely I'm going to spoil the show for sure and parts of the game. So if you've never played the game or you want to watch the show fresh or whatever, then skip ahead because I'm going to talk about it. But anyway, what do you think about again, I know you haven't played it or watched it most likely. What do you think about the success of it though?
I'm excited you're gonna spoil it so I don't have to watch it. Do this every
You need
week.
to watch it.
No, I don't like the monsters. I saw the monster on the commercial. It looked like a fucking bunion that came to life. I'm not into that.
Uh-huh.
But no, we're not surprised about this, and I'm sure you'll let us know. But
Mm.
you've been slamming the airwaves for 2 years now about how this is going to be huge, and obviously it is.
Hmm.
You know, I wasn't necessarily surprised by the double in viewership. I mean, I think part of that was people don't watch things the first night. They got to it a few nights later on the app or whatever, or if they recorded
Mhm.
it. And then I think part of that is these freaking scores are outrageous, like 99 and 96%. I mean, it's ahead of every show that's ever existed. And
Mhm.
I know it's only one episode, but that's a hell of a way to start. I mean, if you're going to start, that's how you want to start. So, not entirely surprised considering even though I haven't played the game, I know how well written the Naughty Dog games are, so it kind of makes sense. It translates really, really well. Even the Uncharted movie, I
Mhm.
thought it was written pretty well. I'm not surprised by any of that really. The funny part to me is they put out a 2 hour trial of The Last of Us Part 1, and I feel like that's because the multiplayer isn't ready. They're like, we have to do something, so let's put out a trial.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not entirely surprised. It will be interesting to see if they can carry that quality through though, because it's like a lot of TV shows that are based off of movies or games. The first few episodes are really, really, really deep and close to the original or the lore, and as you get farther along, they can kind of lose touch with that. So, that could be part of it too.
Yeah, I'm just still astounded by all of it, honestly. And I was trying to look up the IMDb ranking here of where it sits. TV series, top 250 TV series here, IMDb. Let's look really quick. So, The Last of Us currently has a 9.4. It has 65,000 ratings almost. So 9.4 would put it even with Chernobyl and Band of Brothers as in the top in the top, tied at number 2. That's the number 2 highest rated show ever on IMDb if it holds. So
What's number one?
number 1 is Breaking Bad. It has 1.9 million
Hmm.
ratings. So there you go. Pretty good company. But I say that to say that it's wonderful. Point blank, period. It's no surprise to me, really. Like you said, I've been saying on the show, our show, that it was going to be a big deal, and that it was going to be, the next potentially the next big show, like prestige TV that everyone should watch, that you shouldn't miss, that people should tune in for each week. And it's only one episode. I understand that, so we've got 8 more to go. We need to see how it pans out. Hopefully, it keeps the momentum so to speak, and stays of the highest quality. And there's no real reason to think that it won't. But I'm really pleased that they've taken something, one of the best video games of all time, in my opinion, one of the biggest PlayStation games that there is, and they've been able to adapt it to television in such a way that is true to the game. And there's a lot of scenes from the show that are, I mean, one to one, like from the framing, everything. Like you can go find the image from the game and see the image from the first episode of the show, and it's the same thing, which is really cool. But at the same time, it's also not an exact copy, which is really cool. Like it is the same story. It's the same story beats. They get from A to B the same so far, but they get from A to B in a different path. So what I mean by that is, instead of, for instance, they're in one location for a certain scene from the game, they've altered that a little bit, and they're in a different location in a slightly different scenario in the show, but the result of it, or the end result, is the same. So it's really well done. It's a faithful remake. It's something that fans of the game can really appreciate, but it's also done in a way where people who haven't played the game, like someone like you, like who will never play the game, I'm sure, can watch the show and know nothing about it and enjoy it. And I think that's partially to your point too, of what we saw in those third and fourth days, where there started to be this word of mouth because all the numbers came out, after the first day, and it was like, oh, it's rated this and it's getting this on Rotten Tomatoes, et cetera. So there's some of that water cooler stuff that I've been talking about for several weeks, where it draws people in and they want to check it out and they get curious and they start hearing about this show, and it caters to both. It caters to the fans of the game and the people who've never seen it. So I think that's really cool. And I got to say, I think that when this is all said and done, I think Naughty Dog is going to be upset that they did not have the multiplayer game ready to go. And of course, it is what it is. It's ready when it's ready, sort of thing. They can't just shit a video game. I totally understand that, but I think they're going to be mad at themselves and frustrated that they didn't get this out, because what I've been saying is that, like I said, it's having, and hopefully will continue to have, this big moment in pop culture for the next couple of months, where people are going to be talking about it. It's going to be the thing that everybody talks about on Mondays and, throughout the week and whatever. Wouldn't it have just been really cool to be able to get a free to play Last of Us multiplayer game out on PlayStation 5 and PC before the show is over, or right as it ends, whatever? I think that's a huge miss. I will say that. I think that's a big miss. Now, they're putting whatever part 1 on PC the first week of March, and that's cool, but that's just not the same, in my opinion. So, anyway, very very pleased to report that the show is wonderful. It's a must watch. I wish I could figure out a way to get you to watch it. But don't worry about the monsters. Don't worry about the monsters. Fuck the monsters. You're fine. They're going to kill them anyway, or run from them, so there's nothing to be worried about. Number 2, Sony confirmed the full list of PlayStation VR 2 launch window games this week, and also revealed 13 additional games that will be coming to the next-gen headset. It was also confirmed by Polyphony Digital that Gran Turismo 7 will be the full version of the game on PSVR 2, with the exception of split-screen play. And I'm going to read off the entire list here from my very own article on Gaming Nexus. That's funny how that works out, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the launch window lineup, Sony says will all be out between February 22nd and March 22nd, so within the first month, they've said. And it includes After the Fall, Altair Breaker, Before Your Eyes, Cities VR, Cosmonious High, Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition, The Dark Pictures, Switchback VR, sorry, Demio, Dyschronia, Chronos Alternate, Fantavision 22X, I don't know how you say that, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Job Simulator, Jurassic World Aftermath, Kayak VR Mirage, Kazuna AI Touch the Beat, The Last Clockwinder, The Last Brigade, Moss 1 and 2 Remaster, NFL Pro Era, No Man's Sky, Pavlov VR, which looks dope, Pistol Whip, Puzzling Places, Resident Evil Village, Res Infinite, Song in the Smoke Rekindled, Star Wars, Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, Synth Riders, The Tale of Onagoro, Tentacular, Tetris Effect, Thumper, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Chapter 2 Retribution, Vacation Simulator, What the Bat, and Zenith, The Last City. So that's the 37 games coming in the launch window, if my count is correct. So that will be out by March the 22nd. And then that's actually, yeah, that's all of them. So then there's 13 more games that were new announcements, and they were included in that list. So the 13 new ones that were in that list that we did not know about before were Before Your Eyes, Kayak VR, Pavlov VR, Puzzling Places, Song in the Smoke Rekindled, Synth Riders Remastered, Thumper, NFL Pro, What the Bat, Res Infinite, Tetris Effect, Creed Rise to Glory, and The Last Clockwinder. So in total, 37 games for launch. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a pretty good number? Do you have any thoughts on the launch lineup?
Yeah, we were promised like what 20, give or take.
Yeah, it went from 20 to 30 to now
Yeah, it's a hell
37.
of a jump.
So,
And then I wonder if they, I wonder why that is. Did they get some wind about something? Did these developers finally figure it out and come together a lot quicker than they expected? Maybe the game's
yeah,
easier to make work than the others. I don't know, but I think that's super
yeah.
interesting actually. The lineup isn't bad either. There's some games that look really, really cool on that. We've talked to her numb in the face about the ones that look cool. Obviously the big one recently is that
Hmm.
GT7 is going to be on there. I think that will help a lot. It could
Sure.
be a console seller, and everything is going to be there that you have on the non VR version. It's not like you can only race in VR. Like you can play the game in VR. So that's going to be
Hmm.
huge. That's definitely going to turn some people onto it. You're going to get some because of that. It's going to get some exposure in the sim racing community. There's definitely going to be guys who are on YouTube with all these followers that are just going to buy it because it's cool. So the market for it is here, and it's everything that we're reading seems like it's going to be of quality, and all these games are ready to come out. So like, I feel a lot more confident about its position than maybe I did at the announcement point. So it's interesting. I wonder what else we'll get on that going forward.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if there'll be a huge delay. Like, we'll get these 37 games in the first month, and we don't get anything for a year. Like, that's
Hmm.
my only concern. But
Hmm.
I think it's in a strong position to come out early and come out hot. And to what I don't know, you're gonna talk about the sales that got released out of Japan last month. Are you gonna talk about those?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Basically, they sold more PS4 consoles in Japan last month than they
Oh,
did the new
yeah. No, I'm
Xboxes.
not going to share that. So go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is they sold about 1,200 PS4s.
Hmm.
So they sold about 1,000 of the new Xboxes, and then they sold a bananas amount of Switches and PS5s. So like, it's legitimately going to outsell if you consider it a console, it could legitimately outsell the Xbox in some markets out of the gate. I think that's a real possibility.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, but it probably is just me. Like I'm very excited about this. It looks very promising. And again, I've never played VR, period, any kind of VR. So there is that. But everything that we've seen so far, the launch lineup is very good, I think, in my opinion. Seem to be very impressed by it. I think it's a good mix. I mean, there's some big first party stuff, Gran Turismo 7, Call of the Mountain, those are huge. And you've got a good mix of other stuff too, from second and third party, like No Man's Sky. The Pavlov VR game is supposedly very popular on PC. I watched a trailer for that. I need to send that to you so you can look at that while I am talking here, because I think you would be interested in it. But there's a bunch of them. City Skylines VR. It's a great lineup, honestly, and I never would have imagined that we would have gotten this many games. Now, admittedly, a lot of these are ports from other VR headsets. A lot of them are upgrades from PSVR 1. So there is that, but that's to be expected. I think that you also make a great point in that what is the release cadence going to be like? Is it going to be, steady or mildly steady? Or is there going to be big lulls between? And I think that's a valid question and a valid concern, because there's this hesitancy with Sony's like second fiddle, I guess, systems, if you will, like Vita. they quit supporting it after about 3 or 4 years. PSVR, they quit supporting it after about 3 or 4 years. So are we going down the same road? I think is a valid question. And it's hard to say. We do know about some games that are coming that are not on this list. Like there's some big ones like Firewall Ultra, which looks dope. That's the game where you can change guns with your eyes and shit. There's another one. The Crossfire Sierra Squad is another big shooter that's coming. So there are some things that we're aware of, but we'll just have to see. So I do join in your speculation on that. And my question though is, I mean, GT7 being on here, fully playable, and also the fact that Hitman, the current Hitman, like has to be coming to this thing. So at some point, it has to be like that's a no brainer too. I think. Oh, just like GT7. So we'll have GT7. We'll have Hitman. What more do you need? We'll have a shooter. We'll have military shooters. We'll have the one I just sent you, which has prop hunt and shit. By the way,
Oh, it looks awesome. Like I just watched them cut a bunch of wires.
yeah. Like so. I mean, what more do you need for me?
Oh wait, we're dressed like World War II guys.
Yeah, there's multiple eras of military that you can play with.
Let's see that. Yeah, exactly. So like for somebody like me, that's 3 easy games I'm playing. Like that's easy. It's off the jump. So and then of
Yeah,
course you have City Skylines and
yeah.
all the wildness of that. And
So
oh
I
look, zombies.
yeah, there's zombies mode. So dollars to donuts. I mean, what do we got to do here? What I mean,
Well,
what?
it's a better release launch than Microsoft had anyway.
Yeah, I mean, will you ever consider it? Will you ever consider getting the VR too?
Yeah, you just have to let me play it.
Okay, I figured you were gonna ask me to come over so you could play GT7 in VR.
Yeah, just bring it over. We'll see how it goes, and then we'll write it off as a podcast cost.
Just understand that if you get mad, you can't throw my headset or my Sense controllers.
Yeah, I know. That's the only thing I can't do,
Because
which I hate.
I'm pretty sure you threw something the other night and we were what were we playing? And you threw
I
something
played
across.
fucking FIFA, okay?
It's always the sports games that get you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The sports games. The other games don't make me mad, and
Mm,
we could talk about FIFA later, but
yeah, we will.
that's the thing. What makes me mad we'll talk about this later, but in a nutshell, what makes me mad the most, like with FIFA, is the shit the computer does. It's not the stuff that we do. It's the fucking AI bullshit.
Yeah. They really need to improve that for sure. But we'll talk about it more. So anyway, I think it's a great lineup back to VR. I've already got a couple games. I've got Pistol Whip. I've got After the Fall. I believe we're getting. I think I can say this. We're getting Demio from the web through the website through Gaming Nexus. I think we're getting Demio. I have requested another title. I guess I won't say that. I've requested another title, and I'm hoping. Well, I can say this, I think. So I told you guys the other night where there's 37 launch titles, and our editor in chief has requested all 37 of them, is my understanding, and 3 of us are getting the headset. So I'm going to be playing a lot of PSVR 2 games, it sounds like, if we end up trying to review every one of them. So just stay tuned for that, I guess. All right. Number 3. Industry sales analysts, the NPD Group, revealed both their December industry data as well as the top selling games for all of 2022 this week. For the month of December, consumer spending across the industry totaled $7.6 billion, which is up 2% from last December. Hardware sales also grew 16% year over year, indicating a continued improvement in console supply. Total 2022 spending totaled $56.6 billion, down 5% from 2021, which MPD blamed on hardware constraints, which are just now improving, and a slight lack of premium releases for the year.
Huh?
Well, I'm kind of hung on that too. We can talk about that. The best-selling games for the month of December on PlayStation were as follows: Modern Warfare 2 at number 1, of course, followed by God of War Ragnarok at 2, which was number 3 on the overall list, regardless of platform. Madden 23 was 3, FIFA 23, Need for Speed Unbound, Crisis Core Final Fantasy 7 Reunion, NBA 2K23, Elden Ring, Sonic Frontiers, and the Callisto Protocol at number 10 on PS or on for the month of December. I'm sorry. Meanwhile, the best-selling PlayStation games for all of 2022 were number 1, Modern Warfare 2, followed by God of War Ragnarok, which was number 4, the fourth best-selling game of the year. Elden Ring was the third best-selling game of the year on PlayStation, followed by Madden 23, Horizon Forbidden West, which was the ninth best-selling game of the year overall. FIFA 23, MLB The Show 22, which was number 10 overall, the 10th best selling game of the year. Gran Turismo 7 was 8 on PlayStation alone, and number 13, the 13th best selling game of the year. The Skywalker Saga was 9, and Spider Man Miles Morales was the 10th best selling PlayStation game for all of 2022. So, does anything jump out to you?
Yeah, we'll just start with the like we had a huge Modern Warfare release. We had a God of War release. Those are huge. We had
Mhm,
Need for Speed make a bounce back game that's actually really good. It's you haven't had in a while. I consider that to be a premium. These are all what I consider to be premium IPs. There
mhm,
was a Sonic release. There's a Skywalker, which is a fucking huge Star Wars IP. Like, come on, like that's a little. I disagree with that, but that's fine.
mhm,
Anyway, so on December, nothing. Not surprised by Modern Warfare 2. God of Warfare, I think that's nothing shocking there. And there is once I get to the year releases, there is one that's kind of not on there. I think that maybe they should take note. But Need for Speed being in the top 5 for December, I think is a good sign for them.
mhm,
Crisis Core is awesome that it's there for what it is. Elden Ring staying in the top 10 surprised me, but the Callisto Protocol really surprised me, especially since it's kind of short. So,
mhm,
you know, like I've said for 13 years, games don't have to be long to sell well.
mhm,
As far as 2022 goes, interesting to me that, Elden Ring number 3 is great. That's kind of a testament to the game.
mhm.
I hate that the MLB The Show's on there.
Uh,
Horizon 5 will goes west. I
mhm,
think I know it's a big IP and everything, but I feel like I didn't hear a lot about it after it released. So to see it that high,
mhm.
I think that's interesting. The one thing, and of course, Miles Morales being on there's again, it's just the staying power is it's turning into the forest is what it's doing.
Yeah, yeah.
The fact that NBA 2K isn't on the top 10 for the whole year,
Well, that's a good, yeah, good point.
that might be that's a caution flag for them. Like they need to look at that.
Hmm.
They should always be in the top 10. There's no other basketball game, the football game, baseball game, and the soccer game's there. So where are you at?
That's a good catch. Yeah,
It's literally like seriously, isn't basketball like the second most popular sport in the world behind soccer?
I believe so. Yeah,
So like there's no reason for them not to be up there. So maybe they'll start listening, taking note. Yeah, like they need to pay attention to the shit they have that's wrong.
yeah. Hmm. That's a great catch. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You said the about the premium releases. I think that there's this conversation or this thought, I guess, or feeling more so that 2022 is kind of a slow year. It was a down year for game releases, and that I think that's not entirely true. I think that we had pockets of releases. Like I think the front part of the year had a lot of releases: Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, and some others. I think the last bit here of the year had a lot as well. You had The Last of Us Part One, you had Need for Speed Unbound, you had God of War Ragnarok, Modern Warfare Two, like you said. Like I think it actually, when we look back on it, later this year, maybe I think we're going to be like, that actually was a pretty decent year for releases. They were just spread out
Mhm.
weird, and maybe the middle of the year there wasn't much going on. I think was part of the problem, but I think on the whole, I think it was a pretty good year for games. And, you know, it looks like right now that 2023 is just going to, murder 2022 in terms of number and potentially quality of the releases, although that seems, hard to top at this point, considering Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok. But I think 2022 was a good year overall for game releases. And yeah, that's a good catch about NBA not being there on the best sellers for the year. I think that is a little bit of a warning flag, a bit of a red flag, considering that it's always there typically. So that's odd to me. But I'm glad to see Need for Speed Unbound hang around on the December list after it came out the 1st of November. So that's very good. And God of War Ragnarok did amazing. Sold more copies than Elden Ring did, the game of the year for most people, which that's not a terrible surprise in and of itself, considering the type of game Elden Ring is. But also, I would argue that Elden Ring spent a lot more time in the zeitgeist than Ragnarok ever did. And
Yeah.
there it is, selling so well. And then I actually was impressed by Gran Turismo 7 being 13 overall for the year. I thought that was pretty impressive of it for a racing game. And then, like you said, Spider-Man Miles Morales being there, number 10 for the year for PlayStation. And you never know, man. Like it might hang around for a long time in 2023 too, as people start to get their PS5s. But then we're going to get that push towards the fall right before Spider-Man 2 comes out. So that'll be interesting to watch. Number 4, along those same lines, Travis, Sony revealed the PlayStation Store's most downloaded games for all of 2022 this week. So these are just most downloaded from the PlayStation Store. On PS5, the most downloaded game was Modern Warfare 2. This is for the whole year. God of War Ragnarok at 2, NBA 2K23, Elden Ring, Madden 23, GTA 5, FIFA 23, Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, Dying Light 2, MLB The Show 22, Cyberpunk 2077, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Spider-Man Miles Morales, NBA 2K22, WWE 2K22, Gotham Knights, Sifu, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and Stray at number 20 on PS5. Over on PS4, the most downloaded game for the year was Modern Warfare 2, of course, followed by GTA 5, Minecraft, Elden Ring, NBA 2K23, Red Dead Redemption 2, NBA 2K22, Madden 23, God of War Ragnarok, FIFA 23, MLB The Show 22, The Last of Us 2, so many twos, Horizon Forbidden West, Batman Arkham Knight, Gang Beasts, Need for Speed Heat, WWE 2K22, Dying Light 2, Among Us, and The Forest. There it
Hey,
is at number 20, the 20th most downloaded game on PS4. So, what do you make? Oh, hang on. I'm sorry. I apologize. PSVR was pretty unremarkable because it was the same as the monthly charts were that pretty much never change. And then in free to play, the only thing of note really to me was that Fall Guys was the most downloaded free to play game of all of 2022, ahead of the likes of Fortnite and Warzone, and of course Apex Legends. So, what do you make of anything here on the list?
I feel like the people that play Warzone are just people who are grown up that used to play Fortnite.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, I
They've
refuse.
graduated.
Yeah, they graduated. I'll never talk about PS4 again, so I'm not. I'm
Mm.
moving on.
Oh, okay.
Nothing on the 5 really was that surprising. Aside from Dying Light, I didn't expect that to be up there at all.
Mm.
Cyberpunk has had a nice rebound. I
Yeah,
just wish they would have waited and released it this year, because I think if they would have released it in the quality it's in now, it would have been on all the awards. It would have been on the most bought, downloaded. I mean,
mm,
they just released a game in alpha, which is also what Battlefield did, but
mm,
that's on them. Stray coming in at 20 is pretty low for a game that keeps getting nominated for Game of the Year.
mm.
Again, everybody bitches about these Star Wars games, but the IPs are always in the top 20. So they have two here.
Yeah,
Gotham Knights without Batman, we were really curious about how that would play, and it seems like it's playing out pretty well for them. So, aside
yeah,
from those, nothing too crazy there. I can't really say I'm that shocked by anything else.
yeah. I would agree with that on the whole. I think that this is pretty indicative of the MPD list for the year, but also nothing totally surprising. Other than, unlike the sales list for MPD for the year, NBA 2K23 was the third best or third most downloaded game
Mhm.
on PlayStation Store. And I think what that tells us, though, Travis, is that we've been speculating on the show is what does this data mean from PlayStation? And I think that what this tells us is that this literally is downloads, like not purchases. So,
Yeah,
like if I delete 2K and download it again, later on, that
right.
counts as another download, is what I'm trying to say. So
Mhm.
I think that's what that is indicating, the fact that it's third on the most downloaded list for the year, but didn't even crack the top 10 most or best sellers for the year.
Mhm.
I think that's confirmation of what we've been wondering about that for a while now. And nothing else really, like I'm kind of like you, nothing else really jumps out at me. I'm trying to see on PS4. The only thing really is that Arkham Knight is there, but I think that is tied in with the fact that Gotham Knights is not on PS4, and then you've got The Forest naturally there at number 20, which is always impressive to me that hangs around. And then honestly, I think the most interesting thing to me is that Fall Guys was the most downloaded game ahead of Fortnite and Warzone for
Right.
the year. And I know that it kind of had a rebound. I think they kind of not rebranded, but they they added a bunch of stuff or changed something or something along the way there this year. I feel like it kind of had a little bit of a resurgence there for a while. So, and I know that you've picked it up again recently and played it some too. So that's impressive. Number 5, we also have several news nuggets here as well. Feel free to jump in here with me. First nugget, Housemarque finally announced on the PlayStation blog this week that Returnal is coming to PC on February 15th. It will feature some beefed up specs, and you can find all of the minimum and recommended setups over on the blog post. And it's quite beefy. You can do like an ultra epic, I think they call it epic. And it's like 4K, 60 ray tracing, all this shit. So check that out. Also, Power Wash Simulator, the very popular game, is getting a Tomb Raider Mansion Pack the same day it releases on PlayStation on January 31st, so you can clean the Croft Manor if you wish.
It's really not a bad idea to add in things
It's
like
not.
this. Like, even, like, if
Yeah.
like the cooking simulator, like, you could, and I'm not saying, like, on the chef simulator you put in a
Hmm.
McDonald's, but, like, imagine, like, a Gordon Ramsay pack, or, like, you could work at a the Good Burger from Kenan and
Yeah.
Kel, like, stuff like that I think could really really kill, like, you're mowing the lawn at the Wayne Manor, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just saying.
That is actually a very good idea. Yeah, I agree. That's cool. Also, newly added PlayStation Plus extra game Jet: The Far Shore is getting a free expansion on January 31st called Given Time. It'll come to both PS4 and PS5, and the developer claims that it will add another 12 hours of gameplay to the game for free. That's impressive, actually. Wonderful looking open world indie adventure game Tchia, or Chia, I have no idea how to say Chia, was confirmed to be launching on PS4 and PS5 this spring, with the developer Awaseb sharing new details over on the PlayStation blog. Preview coverage also started popping up this week from various outlets, including GamingNexus.com. Website Video Games Chronicle reported that the voice actor who plays Raiden in Metal Gear Solid games has teased that a new announcement related to the series is happening soon. And this, of course, is off the back of people believing that a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake is happening very soon. So we'll see. Also, a leaked Hogwarts Legacy art book has revealed that the game will take 35 hours to complete and 75 hours to get 100% completion of everything. And I think
Mhm.
that's actually not bad, in my opinion,
No, it's good.
considering the type of game it is. Again, it's a fully open world game. It's not fucking God of War Ragnarok, which is the same amount of time.
Mhm.
I think that's a good sweet spot for an open world RPG.
I've also heard that you can torture people to death.
I have heard that as well.
Yep, so you can make Snape look like a fucking saint.
Yeah, I have heard that as well. Apparently, the DLC you can do it like as much as you want. If you're, I'm sorry, the DLC, if you get the deluxe edition, I think you can do it like as much as you want with no repercussions. Like there's a like an area, special area where you do it or something like that. I don't know.
Well, in the other mode, you get a couple free murders, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
But if you get the deluxe edition, you get you a nice little torture murder chamber.
yeah, I love that, cool, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Next nugget: a leaked, all kinds of leaks. A leaked Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League image has revealed that the game will have a battle pass. Although it's been reported that it will only be for cosmetic items, it fucking better be. Man, they have that game. I'm telling you, that game after the reception, even though it sold really well, the the reception of Gotham Knights, that this game Suicide Squad has to be good. They have to get it right. Also, cult hit horror game Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle is being pulled from storefronts as of January 23rd, as developer Blue Wizard Digital has lost the license to the IP. The Callisto Protocol has failed to meet sales expectations and has not recouped its $162 million development budget, according to publisher Krafton, which has caused the company's stock price to drop. In other news, the game also received an update this week, which added a new game plus mode.
That's hard to imagine. You don't make sales goals, but you're in, like, the top sell like, top 10 of sold games of the year,
Yeah,
and, like, if I'm making the game and, like, you can basically outline, like, the top 5 every year, you gotta be like, "Damn," like, I have a very small margin of error
yeah,
for a game that is not exceedingly long, and does it have a lot of how much replayability does it have? Like, I don't know, I just
yeah.
we gotta work on the money we spend on these games if this is the case.
Bingo. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I was going to say, how about don't spend $162 million on a video game that's 8 hours long? I mean, it can be the best it can be the best looking video game. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
games should be shorter. Okay, first of all, you can cut costs that way. Like, quit making 40-hour, 35, 40-hour God of War Ragnarok games. Quit making 70-hour Assassin's Creed games. Like, if and nobody will be mad about that. Like, if publishers, developers would just listen to us. Like,
Mhm.
they can work less, they can spend less money, they can make they can make a game they probably would rather make anyway, where they don't have to just bloat it with all this horse shit, and everybody wins. Like, they can still sell it for $70, and we're still gonna play it and like it. Like, I don't know, man. It's almost like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It feels like.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway,
if Callisto Protocol at this price point was as long as God of War, it'd be a billion-dollar game.
yeah, 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 exactly. All right, next nugget. Following the financial turmoil that we discussed last week, publisher Ubisoft has confirmed that one of the games it has canceled is PvP arena battler known as Project Q. Elsewhere, CEO Yves Guillemot backtracked and apologized for his comments, which places the onus on Ubisoft employees to turn the company around. And he's got some disgruntled employees who are all considering striking on him, especially I think there's some particular studios like Ubisoft Paris, I think, are close to going on strike, and some others. So,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
you can't be in upper management and blame everybody underneath you. Like, you have to wear some
sure,
of it, like, it's ridiculous.
sure,
It's yeah, I mean,
sure.
he basically yeah, he's basically saying that everybody at Ubisoft Paris was fucking around, and that's why the games don't sell.
Yeah, yeah. Also, beware that the first hour of Forspoken has leaked online. If you're trying to avoid spoilers ahead of release, you only got 24 more hours, though, if you're at the time of that you're listening to this. So just beware. And also, Square Enix updated the game's PS5 demo this week, and it includes a number of technical fixes. Very interesting to see. You don't often see a demo updated, so they're really trying to put their best foot forward with that game. But there's also some controversy because a lot of major outlets did not receive a review copy for Forspoken. Like, Video Games Chronicle didn't get one, and some other, The Escapist, some others didn't. So that's very weird that they didn't. I think it's typically a red flag. We
Yeah,
got one. We got one as far as I know at Gaming Nexus,
that's
but
weird.
some of the bigger ones did not, like 10 or 12, I think. So I don't know. Also, Google's Stadia, this is not PlayStation news, of course, but it's adjacent. Google Stadia cloud gaming service officially shut down this week, Travis, after just over 2 years on the market. So that's a competitor for cloud gaming down. It's a tad ironic considering reports that we are getting cloud gaming functionality on PS5 in a March firmware update. So just an interesting parallel there. RIP. I've got my Google Founders Edition
Mhm.
sitting here in the basement with me.
You should frame it.
Yeah. You can also you can update the controller to run with Bluetooth, so you can use it for other devices. Like, you can use it as a PC controller or whatever if you wanted to. You have to do it by the end of the year, though. Okay. Infinity Ward has delayed the launch of Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2 Season 2 until February 15th. Further details will be shared in the coming weeks. I don't think that this game has gotten off to the start that they thought it would. I think there's reports of like low Warzone player count and this and that, and now they're delaying season 2, and they're bringing back features they said they would never have because people were complaining. So just interesting to note that I don't know if Modern Warfare and Warzone 2 are off to the start that they thought it would be.
Yeah, and adjacently related, it's just interesting to me that, like, these companies have a formula that works really well with these games. Like, Modern Warfare was a juggernaut. I mean, not that it
Mhm.
isn't, it obviously is, but you know what I mean, like, not only was it a
Sure.
juggernaut, but everybody loved it, right? And then,
Yeah.
you have to obviously change things because if you get stagnant, you'll lose. But it seems like they always change the wrong things, like Assassin's
Hmm.
Creed's got this thing cooking, and then they're like, "We should triple the game length." Why did
Yeah.
you do that? Like, they never
Yeah.
pick the right thing.
Yeah. I always wonder that too. Like, is that corporate people stepping in who have no idea? Like, they're not boots on the ground, so they don't know really what happens. And they're like, okay, we need triple that. I have no idea. I would love to know. That's got to be what it is. Next nugget, Destruction All Star Studio Lucid Games announced that they are working with Xbox Studio Rare as a support team on Sea of Thieves. Combine this with the reports that Lucid was removed from the unannounced Twisted Metal reboot, and it seems clear that the developer has fallen from grace with PlayStation. It happened pretty quickly. I had sad to see. Destruction All Star is a decent game now, but no one plays it. So Sackboy is the next PlayStation IP moving to mobile as free-to-play running game Ultimate Sackboy, which is launching on Android and iOS on February 21st. John Wick director Chad Stahelski is developing a Rainbow Six movie starring Michael B. Jordan, according to The Hollywood Reporter. That might be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, do they you know how people play Rainbow Six? Like, is the movie gonna be like
Yeah,
how they play it?
right. I guess. I don't
Like,
know.
it's just like
I
people
just hope they
creeping
get
around
the
corners and dropping people, camping. How do you
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I hope they do the NPC
Oh, yeah.
dialogue in there though.
Yeah, 'cause the NPC dialogue is like
Fuck
the
the
'80s.
division.
Yeah, it's like the '80s fucking action movies, you know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Also, Firaxis Games shared the first look at Marvel's Midnight Suns Deadpool DLC this week. If you're interested, it is out on January 26th. EA Sports announced that their PGA Tour game will launch on March 24th for PS5 following a 1-year delay. Coming out of retirement. Looks good. We'll see. The cover art and release date for WWE 2K23 leaked this week. It is launching March 17th and will feature John Cena, or Juan Cena, as some of you may know him by, on the
Mhm.
cover of the Cross Gen edition.
Juan Cena's the Mexican edition.
That's correct. Chinese company NetEase has live streamed the tearing down of a World of Warcraft statue outside its headquarters after a licensing deal between them and World of Warcraft company Blizzard fell apart last year, causing the games to be shut down in China. So there's some bad blood there,
I'm
you could say.
I'm sure Blizzard was really upset.
Yeah. Yeah, good riddance. Good for, couldn't happen to a better bunch of people, meaning NetEase and Tencent, people like
Communist.
that. Fuck 'em. Communists, yes, thank you. Also, website PushSquare reported that first-person shooter Bright Memory Infinite has added a third-person perspective assist mode, whatever that means. I don't know what the fuck that means. Upcoming Soviet-themed first-person shooter Atomic Heart will run at 60 frames per second on PS5 with a dynamic resolution when it releases on February 21st. Leaker the Snitch has come out of retirement. I didn't know you could retire from being a leaker, by the way. And he claims that he is hearing some sort of PlayStation third-party game showcase is imminent. He actually said very soon, so we'll see about that.
What do you kids come out of retirement, you know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
imagined Ocean's 11 when they went and got Saul from the dog track.
Yeah, it's basically because he was writing for Tom Henderson's website, Insider Gaming, and then he was on Twitter too, and he would leak stuff, obviously, and then he said, "I'm going to quit leaking stuff." That was like 2 months ago. He's like, "I'm not going to leak any more
Well,
stuff."
that
And then
lasted.
here he is. Yeah, here he is on Discord doing the shit again. So, and then also that's great, but like, where's the PlayStation Studio showcase? I mean, I'm just saying, we don't know. We don't have a release date, if I remember correctly, for any PlayStation Studios games. And presumably MLB The Show is right around the corner, is the next one. So, okay, let me take that. We know about Horizon Call of the Mountain but we know when the headset releases. So my gut tells me that probably late February, early March, we'll have a PlayStation Studios showcase potentially. They got to start talking. I mean, anyway.
Maybe they don't know.
Maybe they don't. It's a good point. Touche. Maybe it's a fucking mess over there. They're worried about Activision and Xbox too much. CD Projekt Red has said that a performance patch is on the way for The Witcher 3 to PS5, and it's nearly complete. Colossal Cave from Ken and Roberto Williams has hit PS5 this week. It is a first-person 3D reimagining of the late 1970s text adventure game. It is also seemingly headed to PSVR 2 in the future.
Oh, I just thought of a great game.
What is
PSVR.
it?
You can go
Uh-huh.
spelunking, but you can also get stuck and die.
There is a VR headset that is getting made where if you die in the game, it blows up and kills
Yeah,
you.
I saw that. Who have they tested it on anybody
Yeah.
yet?
Oh no, I don't think so. You
Oh,
want to
yeah.
sign up?
Maybe they could yeah, maybe they could do some tiny ones on rats, make a tiny VR headset for a rat since,
Yeah.
we can kill them whenever we want.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to kill death row inmates, actually. Just let them play Call of Duty.
I feel like there's a movie called Gamer. I think that's a movie. I think that's a Gerard Butler joint. I think
Mm.
it's called Gamer.
Is that the one where he, saves the president?
No, that's White House or what is that? Olympus Has Fallen. Anyway, Atelier Ryza 3, Travis, Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key has been delayed to March 24th. Hate that. Free to play MMO Sky Children of the Light got its new season of content this week called The Season of Remembrance. It includes updates to shared spaces and the UI, as well as a new season pass of content, which will all be available until April the 2nd. The Last Sarkorians is the next DLC for computer RPG Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. It is launching March 7th on PS4. Website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that Forspoken appears to have an SEO issue, that's search engine optimization, as the word Forsaken has gained significant traffic in the last few days, likely because people's phones are autocorrecting Forspoken to Forsaken. So there's a lot of searches for Forsaken game, for instance. They also reported that the game will take up nearly 88 gigabytes on your PS5. Grand strategy game Stellaris is getting new DLC called the First Contact Story Pack, but no release date has been given. Neil Druckmann, the co-president of Naughty Dog, reiterated in a recent interview with comicbook.com that the Last of Us multiplayer project has been in development since before The Last of Us Part 2 shipped in June of 2020. So again, they've been spending a lot of time on this. It's got to be getting close. It's got to be getting close. PlayStation gamers have begun a petition on change.org to remove multiplayer trophies from platinum trophy requirements. The petition asserts that platinum trophies should not be locked behind the paywall of needing to pay for PlayStation Plus to earn said multiplayer trophies. And they have a point, but
Yeah.
it's a change.org petition, so it means it's nothing. It means it's
Yeah.
worthless. You can wipe your
It's
ass with it.
They have a decent argument, but that's just funny that's how they're doing it. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how she bring attention to it. I don't know.
that's a good. Yeah, you're right. Also, website PlayStation Universe reported that the following games received update patches this week: Path of Exile, The Callisto Protocol, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Multiversus, Battlefield 2042 or 2000 or 20,242 as I have there, and Genshin Impact. So if you've been waiting for some fixes or new content, check those out. Also, developer Daybreak Games has confirmed that DC Universe Online is coming to PS5 this year, and I feel like we've already said that on the show, so apologies if so. Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 Portable will not support higher frame rate or resolutions when playing on PS5, which is odd. After last week's news that Dead by Daylight would be losing Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it has now been confirmed that the game will get to keep the villain moving forward. I guess they've worked something out there.
A villain's a strong word. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe anti-hero.
Oh, yeah? Oh. Japanese developer, here you go. Bokeh Game Studio has shared new concept art for their upcoming horror game, Slitterhead.
That's a name.
That's the worst fucking name for a game. Oh my
Slitterhead, I hardly know him.
god. Oh. Also a PS5 version of fighting game Shaolin versus Wu-Tang 2. Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with, as they say, is in the works, according to the game's developer.
The Shaolin Warriors.
Yeah. Quantic Dream's Detroit Become Human has now crossed 8 million copies sold worldwide.
Wait. How did they make that for less than the
Mhm.
Callisto Protocol? And there's a whole decision tree. They had to have had way more time invested into making that, right? All the fucking possible outcomes. There's millions of outcomes in that game.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how much that one cost to make. I mean, it might have cost about the same. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
Because they have a lot of performance capture and stuff for that game. So who knows? Also, Apex Legends is getting a Celestial Sunrise Collection event and a new Battle Royale mode very soon. Soulsborne game Lies of P, which is that Pinocchio inspired game, can now be wishlisted on the PlayStation Store. Looks very cool, but not doing a Soulsborne game. Sorry. Website Gamatsu reported that adventure game Little Witch Nobeta is coming to PS4 in North America and Europe on March the 7th. Strategy RPG The Dragon-esque Command of the Flame is coming to PS4 and PS5 sometime later this year. Action RPG Black Myth Wukong is launching in summer of 2024, presumably on PS5, although that has not been confirmed. Active battle system roguelite deck builder Braves Rage will launch on PS5 on February 2nd. Action adventure game Figment 2 Creed Valley has been delayed to March 9th on PS4 and PS5. Roguelite tactical twin stick shooter Endless Dungeon will launch for PS4 and PS5 on May 18th. I'm sorry. Action platformer Rooftop Renegade will launch on February 17th for PS4. Publisher NIS America will bring arcade shoot 'em up Raiden 3 Cross Mikado Maniacs to the west for PS4 and PS5 sometime this summer.
Hey, there's your voice actor update.
Yeah. Genshin Impact Update 3.4 is now available, and it adds a new area, new characters, new domains, new weapons, and new outfits. Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly, Travis's favorite types of tea, will launch for PS4 and PS5 on April 20th. Industrial Revolution City Building RTS game Anno 1800, very interested in this one, is coming to
Yes.
PS5 from Ubisoft on March 16th for only $40.
I mean, God, that could be really good.
Yeah, it has it sits in an 81 on Metacritic, the PC version, and so I'm keeping my eye on that one. That might be a potential review title. We'll see. A lot going on in the next couple months here. Also, Paradox Interactive announced their RTS called Age of Wonders 4. We all know Age of Wonders. It's coming to PS5. It will launch on May 2nd. Side-scrolling action-adventure game Nocturnal was announced for PS4 and PS5. It is planned for release in the second quarter of this year. Quirky first-person shooter Fashion Police Squad is releasing on PS4 and PS5 on February 2nd. And finally, developer Ace Team has delayed action RPG Clash Artifacts of Chaos from February 9th to March 9th on PS4 and PS5. And that is all for the news this week. I'm going to turn it over to Travis now for this week's new games.
The 17th of January, we have Ludo Double XL,
Sounds like a porn.
Mrs. Cat Between Worlds,
Also porn.
Shadow Gangs, Gang,
Also porn.
The
Shadow
Legend of
Gangbangs.
The Legend of Tying Ding, also porn.
Could be porn.
Gray's Counter, GM. Now, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Well, that's not porn.
Wings of Blue Star.
Mm.
On the 19th, we have A Matter of Principle, Arcade Archives, Tank Force, A Space for the Unbound, Never Awake. That's a niche porn. Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, Super Jumpy Ball,
That's definitely porn. Super
Tortuga
jumpy balls.
Pirate's Tale.
Hmm.
On the 20th, we have Monster Hunter Rise, Omegabot, and the House of the Dead remake.
There you have it. Pretty mediocre list. Monster Hunter Rise, definitely the biggest on that list, next to the Persona games coming out again on PS4. But the rest of that is pretty just whatever, just meh. I'll have more to say about some Monster Hunter Rise here in just a moment. So that's all for the new games this week. And we'll start to wrap the show up like we always do by discussing what we've been playing and anything we're looking forward to. What about you, Trav?
Oh yeah, we played FIFA. Like I said before, through my controller because I got mad at the fucking computer.
Uh-huh.
We're very mid anyway, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't do you any favors. The AI is so stupid. Like you have to anticipate what the other team is doing and what stupid shit the AI is going to do before you do something. It's ridiculous. So like there's no way because I don't know. I mean, there's people that are obviously good at it, so they figured out kind of the malarkey that the computer will do. But it's like, they'll
Yeah.
do a lob through ball and your guy literally won't turn. He'll just wait until the guy passes him, then he'll turn. Okay.
Yes.
Or like
Yes. Thank you.
you'll play we played this team and they put Harry Maguire at striker who speeds a 38 and he's
Yeah. So,
outrunning everybody on the team. It's not that he's doing dribble moves and we're doing stupid shit, like not guarding the position or targeting or whatever. He's literally running and we
yes.
can't keep up with him. Like
yes.
I don't like what do you mean? And it's just shit like that like that makes me so mad. When you shoot it 27 times and it saves every single ball. Like it's just that game is ridiculous. Like and it's not like you shot it 27 times right to the keeper. Like the dude's diving and making kick saves on the backside and like it just ridiculous shit. It makes me so frustrated. But
Yeah.
whatever. We played Battlefield. We managed to get everybody online last night, even though we won one match.
yes.
But no, I mean we've been having fun with that, and I've been using the sniper for Battlefield 3. It's one of those things that, like, when you get rolling with it, like, usually once a game, I'll kinda get hot, and I'll just start popping heads, and I'll reel off, like, 4 or 5, 6 in a life, and, that might be all I do for the whole game, but I'll do that once, and then, I've been playing around with the SCAR and the AK trying to decide which one I wanna play with, but, I go back and forth on those, they're not bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we've been having a good time with that, just trying to we played the worst map on the game last night, I can't remember which one it was now.
Is it the one with the big boat?
I don't the boat's okay.
Hmm.
I don't enjoy the boat, but it's playable.
Yeah.
It's Stranded.
Or the
That one's
yeah,
okay. It's
Stranded.
okay.
No, no, it's not Stranded. The other one where the wall falls off the boat,
Oh, yeah,
like a
that one.
tanker.
That one, that's the fucking worst map. It doesn't make any sense. It's literally
Yeah.
it's 3 different maps, like,
Yeah.
A, B are totally different. A, B's industrial, B's out in the woods, and there's, like, a little flooded village, like a little rice paddy village, and then
Mhm.
there's this fucking Caspian Sea with no water in it with these abandoned oil rigs and oiler tanker things. It's like
Mm.
like, you know what I mean? It's not cohesive,
Yeah.
and I don't know, man. It's just it's like it's weird because, like, the capture points at D and C, like, you have all these super long sight lines where you think you'd be able to snipe, but then you're kinda there's no medium range fighting. It's either close combat right on top of the
Mm.
capture point or
Mhm.
you're sniping. There's no medium range at all. And I dislike maps like that. Like, I think maps should always have close, medium, and long range at all times. It
Right.
shouldn't be pigeonholed to a certain thing. That's always frustrating, but, they did like, that's why the Canadian map is so good, and then the newest map, what was it called? Like, it's not Exposure, is it? Or is that Canada?
Spearhead.
Yeah, like,
Spearhead.
the 2 latest maps they put out have both of those, and they do them really well, and, like, that's
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird that they missed the boat so bad on the boat level.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better with the 2 DLC maps for sure.
That's about it. I mean, I keep checking Gran Turismo periodically to see if I can buy these last 2 cars for the trophy so I can get the platinum, but they
Mhm.
never add them back, so that's fine though, guys.
Maybe they will when, it comes out to PSVR 2, new platform, give people a chance. But, yeah, so like you said, we played some Battlefield 2042. I had a good time with it, although I didn't play very well last night. Like you said, we won 1 match, and, it was kinda rough. Like, I felt like I kept spawning and dying within, like, 10 seconds, and I mean, I was spawning on people, but, like,
Yeah, it's
I would spawn on
ridiculous.
people. Yeah, I would spawn on people, and then there'd be someone, like, around the corner from me, and then there's other times where it tells me I can't spawn on somebody because they're in combat, and it's like, "Bro, you just put me 20 feet from someone," and like, I don't know, but, it's fine. That part of it is anyway because I enjoy the game. I love it, uh, a lot, and obviously, it was apparently my most played game, last year according to my PlayStation wrap-up thing, so there's that, but I'm wondering, I can't remember. I feel like we're not getting another specialist, but maybe we're getting one more. Maybe that's what it is because there's a fourth season that's about to happen here in about a month. So curious to see, honestly, what they do after that. Like what happens after season 4. Like what's the? I guess what's the? We know a little bit about it, but like what's their longer term vision? I guess is what I'm curious about. But anyway, also played some more Police Simulator this week and went back to that because I want the platinum, kind of like you with GT. I want the platinum for Police Simulator, and the last 2 trophies I have to have are arrest 40 people who are under the influence or driving under the influence of alcohol, and then the other one is to uh, lawfully report 100 speeders with the radar gun. And I did like 30 the other night, so I can't tell if the trophy's glitched or not because I feel like if I am not at 100, I'm like dangerously close to doing that 100 times. So I'll see, but I have a feeling that one is glitched because only like 1.2% of people have the trophy.
Mhm.
It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So I don't know. Also played some Helldivers, a little blast from the past. Jacob downloaded it and wanted to play some, so I did the same, and I forgot how good that game is. It is very good, and it makes me excited for the second one, which is presumably coming out this year, or at the very least getting announced. I think it's coming out this year, but the first one is a lot of fun. I forgot actually how fun it is, and it it pulled up my entire what it calls service record. The first time I played it was April 12th, 2016, which was
God.
pretty cool. Yeah, just pretty cool, and had all my stats. And there's still an online community. There was like, I don't know, like 1,000 or 1,500 people online playing, and it was cool. It was fun to play. We actually, as me and Jacob were playing, two randos jumped into our game, believe it or not, and were playing with us. So that was fun.
Dude,
And
they
then
shoot any hostages?
no hostages were killed in the making of.
It's unfortunate.
Uh, yeah, not yet. Anyway, yeah, when we played FIFA 23, like you said as well. I was trying to think of the name. Which team did we play with at the last that we were like the best with? I can't not remember
Mm,
which one it
we were
was. But we played.
Nice maybe? I don't remember. There's
I
2
don't
or
know
3 of them
either.
we tried.
Yeah, there was one that we were the best with because we kept getting draws, and I think we got like two or three draws with that team. So we need to stick with them. But the last thing that I've been playing is Monster Hunter Rise. I reviewed it for Gaming Nexus, and I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a pretty good game. I've never played a Monster Hunter game before. There were times in the single player where it got a little bit stale, but that is because the game is designed to be played in multiplayer. And matter of fact, Capcom said in the stuff that they sent me, they're like, you need to play. We highly recommend you play multiplayer for your review, and I totally get why, because it's way better with multiplayer playing with other people, and in particular people that hunting monsters and doing the whole thing. So it's a good game. You can definitely tell it's coming over from the Switch. Like, it doesn't look, it's not an ugly game or anything, but like you can just tell like they put lipstick on a pig, so to speak,
Mm,
to get it over from Switch to PlayStation. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it, and so that was the last thing I played, and now I prepare for, hopefully, not hopefully, I know I've got another review incoming on the way, and then there's PlayStation VR 2 right around the corner, and we'll probably start getting stuff in for that. So looking forward to playing some more Battlefield 2042, and big PS5 update for World War Z drops this week. The Hitman Freelancer update drops this week. So things are starting to pick up. And then a couple weeks after that, we get Hogwarts Legacy. So we're getting there. We're getting into the thick of it. Anyway, that's it for me. That's it for Travis. That's it for the show. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to get a new episode delivered to you every Monday on your podcast service or the YouTube. Also, if you could leave us a rating or review, that would be very helpful. Comments and likes on YouTube are very helpful as well. But we would also love it if you could share us with a friend or loved one who you think might enjoy a PlayStation podcast, where they can get all of the week's PlayStation news in less than 90 minutes every time. And yeah, don't forget to find us on social media as well. Tell us what you thought of the show, or if you just want to chat some PlayStation, we would love to hear from you. It's at the DualSense Pod on Twitter, also on Instagram, Facebook. What else? Instagram, Facebook, and our blog, of course, which is the DualSense Podcast.wordpress.com. So find us wherever you are, and let's talk a little bit. We'd love to hear from you. So we'll get out of here now. Thank you for listening. Have a great week. Take care. Bye bye.